Interrogation is a well-documented part of police work and an important one at that. Police interrogations can spring from a number of areas, maybe as simple as a routine stop to something much more serious. Regardless of the initial reason for the interrogation, there are certain things that must be followed by both the police and the suspect. Hello everyone, and welcome to another video. Today, we'll be looking at the most shocking police interrogation ever. Yeah, you heard it right. So, let's start our video. Number 5. A man by the name of Chris Watts was taken into custody and questioned by police on the fall of 2018 after it was discovered that he was responsible for the deaths of his pregnant girlfriend and their young 2 daughters, ages 3 and 4. After failing a polygraph test related to the case and informing officers that he disposed of his children's bodies in oil tanks and buried his wife in the shallow grave nearby, Chris entered a guilty plea to the charges against him and admitted his involvement in the crimes. Chris was found guilty of his crimes and given a sentence of life in prison without the chance of release. Chris Watts answered his front door wearing a UNC t-shirt when his neighbor knocked. Cops from Frederick, Colorado responded to a call about the disappearance of his pregnant girlfriend Shannon and their 2 young kids, Bella, age 4, and Celeste, age 3. The call stemmed from the question that the officers had about the absence of the family. K9 units are shown working hard to pick up a scent on the police body cam footage. After the police and news reporters discovered that his wife had left, I began a frantic search for Shannon and the girls to see if I could find them. 24 hours later, Chris Watts is in the interrogation room telling the lead detective that his marriage was in trouble, that he was having an affair, and that he told his wife the morning she disappeared that he was leaving her. However, Chris Watts' account was revised the next day. He was informed by the detectives that he performed poorly on a lie detector exam. Chris's father is brought in by the police, and he sobs while telling Chris's father that Shannon was the one who killed their daughters by strangling them, and that when he found out about it, he became enraged and killed her. Number 4. In January of 2018, authorities in Ohio arrested a mother and father on suspicion that they were involved in the death of their own daughter, who was 5 years old. During his questioning by the authorities, the man, who is both a father and a spouse, freely revealed his role in the attack and stated that it had been planned in advance. He stated how the plan was first to tie the girl up and throw her in a freezer, and he admitted that he and his wife had been discussing taking the girl's life for a considerable amount of time. Since then, the mother of the young girl was handed a sentence of 22 years in prison, while the young girl's father received a sentence of merely 12 years. Zhao has a conversation with investigators at the Harsh County Jail after his daughter Ashley, who was 5 years old, was discovered dead inside a freezer in the restaurant that his family owned in Jackson Township. He describes how his wife, Ming Chen, murdered their baby inside their apartment in January of last year after the child had an accident with her diapers. After they reported their daughter missing to the authorities, he and his wife brought the body to the restaurant that their family owned so that their other daughter could see her sister and confirm that she was there. Zhao claims that he and his wife deposited Ashley's body in the freezer of the restaurant while they deliberated what course of action to take next. When speaking to investigators, the father of the girl does it in a tone that is rather matter-of-fact. He then described what options they considered in various conceptions. Number 3. A man was taken into custody by law enforcement in Austin, Texas on the suspicion that he was involved in a homicide. While he was being questioned by the police about the incident, he was subsequently charged with the crime. The individual made an attempt to flee by climbing through the ceiling. He didn't get very far, and his bond has been set at $225,000, indicating that he'll likely be sentenced to 99 years in jail. Number 2. The police in Fairfax County, Virginia have detained an 18-year-old man who they believe may have been responsible for luring her 15-year-old girl into a nearby park where she was then held against her will, tortured, and ultimately killed. The police in Fairfax County made the arrest because they believe that the 18-year-old may have been responsible. During questioning, the female in charge of the group acknowledged stabbing the younger girl 13 times. She is now facing the risk of spending the rest of her life behind bars, with no opportunity for bail. Number 1. A man from Nebraska was being held in custody and questioned by law enforcement at the time when surveillance video of him was recorded. It appears that he made a police report alleging that his brother had robbed him while he was in the process of attempting to conceal cocaine in the ceiling of an interrogation room. Having said that very rapidly, the police became aware that this was probably not true. While they investigated the matter and made an effort to get to the bottom of the incident, they made sure to keep the man with them at all times. And that's all for today's video. What are your thoughts on this? Let me know in the comment section down below. I hope that you found this video interesting, and if you want to see more videos like this, please consider subscribing to my channel. See you in the following video with some more of the latest updates, and until then, stay tuned.